You know, there are certain voices that don't just fill the room, they fill the silence inside the person listening. The silence where all the hardest things live. And the voice that found us all in that silence. Listen. Oh yeah. Grace upon grace is what Jah gives the morning. Grace upon grace is what the island keeps on pouring into every soul that opens, into every heart that breaks. Grace upon grace is not the absence of the heartache. It is the love that takes the heartache by the hand and leads it somewhere more beautiful than where it started. Grace upon grace was always the whole plan. I have watched the grace arrive in the rooms that needed it most, not in the comfortable places, not in the successful host of every party, every platform, every polished kind of stage, but in the yard, in the broken, in the turning of the page. From the worst thing to the next thing, from the floor to the door, from the version of yourself you couldn't love anymore, to the one that grace was building while you lay there on the ground. Grace upon grace is the most specific kind of found. I've been covered by the grace before I knew its name, before the island gave it language, before the music came. It was in my grandmother's hands, in the Sunday and the salt, in the women who kept loving through every kind of fog and fire, and still stayed. Grace upon grace when everything was gone. Grace upon grace was what we built upon, not the triumph, not the glory, not the version that looks clean. Grace upon grace is what was left when everything between the breaking and the building finally cleared. Grace upon grace is the only thing that stayed when everything else disappeared. Yeah. I have written every version of myself that grace replaced. I have given every audience the woman I was graced into becoming, through the fire, through the grief, through the years of singing other people's sorrows so they didn't have to wear them quite as heavy, quite as alone. And every song I've written was the grace I'd been shown, poured back into the silence of the person who was listening at 3 a.m. on the floor of their own grace. See, the Rastaman gives thanks for grace that came disguised as everything that cost him, and the mornings that surprised him with the beauty of arriving at the thing he couldn't plan. Grace upon grace is Jah's most patient, most complete design for man. Grace upon grace when everything was gone. Grace upon grace was what we built upon, not the triumph, not the glory, not the version that looks clean. Grace upon grace is what was left when everything between the breaking and the building finally cleared. Grace upon grace is the only thing that stayed. Yeah, Barbados gave me grace like it gives the sea the shore, not as something earned but as the thing you're giving more of. Every time you think you've used the last of it, the grace was never mine, I was just living in it. In the women, in the music, in the bloodline, in the bone, in the understanding that the grace was always bigger than the one who carried it and always brought you home. I stopped performing for the grace, I stopped earning what was free. Grace was never in the house. ever need, always. He understood grace before the rest of us could receive it. Give thanks.